Alright, so today I'm going to show you guys how to wheelie your dirt bike or kind of do wheelies without giving it throttle, kind of like a coasting wheelie, like kind of like a 12 o'clock wheelie. You see like the 12 o'clock wheelie boys, if you guys have ever seen that on YouTube, definitely look that up. It's pretty cool on what these guys do in the city, but beyond that, I'm going to show you guys how to wheelie and some different tips on how to do it. Alright, so I'm going to warm up the bike and get going on this. Alright. Hopefully it actually starts. Let's see. Not bad. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to teach you guys is clutch control. This is like kind of key in when I do my wheelies. So what I do is as I come up in the wheelie, I kind of hold the clutch in like I'm coasting, so then the bike can kind of roll in the when you're in the wheelie, versus if you don't have the clutch rolled in, it's going to kind of like keep going. Like if it's in, obviously it's in gear, but when you hold the clutch in, it's disengaging that, and you can kind of just coast in that wheelie once you find your balance point. So I'll explain it a little bit better once I start doing the wheelies, but there's kind of like a general kind of thing what I do when I'm wheeling. And another thing with the throttle is don't be choppy on your throttle, kind of just roll on really smooth when you're lifting up the wheelie and as you're kind of riding the wheelie, because if you do it more choppy, sometimes it's more like aggressive if you don't know how to control the wheelie. So for kind of like beginners, kind of roll on the throttle when you're in the wheelie once you find your balance point. So as you guys can see, what I did there for kind of the initial how to get the wheelie up, all you gotta do is kind of pop the clutch a little bit, give it a little throttle, as most of you probably know if you ride dirt bikes, but pop the clutch a little bit, get the front end up in the air, and then find your balance point. Once you find your balance point, you can kind of just coast with the wheelie and ride it. And then once you get beyond that, you gotta cover your back brake constantly. This is key on wheelies, and so you don't flip over and break your back fender, and then it's not a very good day. But so all you got to do is cover your back brake with your foot. You don't really have to use the clutch when you press the brake, but I mean it all depends if you're like coasting, if you're beyond that, your balance point. But either way, once you get beyond your comfortable point, tap your brake and it'll bring your front end back down. So like I said, constantly cover your back brake with your foot right here. Always have it covered, don't have it off to the side like some people do. Always have it over top of the brake like so. Okay, so next would be kind of when you're holding the bike, kind of tuck your knees in on the initial when you get the wheelie up, and then once you get the wheelie up, kind of find your balance point per se and kind of hold your knees out a little bit, kind of wiggle the bike a little bit without kind of leaning to one side. So kind of try to stay centered in the bike and not lean off to the side, because once you start leaning, bike's gonna go that way or it's gonna go this way. So kind of stay straight on the bike, that way the bike goes straight. Then if you're trying to turn eventually, once you learn how to wheelie better, you can kind of lean with it and turn in your wheelies. There you go. Alright, so if you guys have any other tips or tricks for people that are learning how to wheelie, definitely post a comment in the comment section below. This wasn't really a how-to wheelie, just kind of different ways on I've learned to wheelie and how I kind of hold my wheelies and how I've always done it. So definitely post a comment down below on how to wheelie or how you've learned to do it. And off of that, I'll see you guys in my next video.